Hello, this is Binu Peniel again. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I would love to talk to you about the content trap, what religious leaders need to know in the wisdom age. This generation is drowning in information, but they are starving for knowledge. The future of technology is the journeying into connectivity. We thought creating content was the basic element, but we are moving from content to connectivity. In the world of screenification, the content trap is the creation, distribution of relevant, valuable content designed to attract or acquire and engage a clearly defined and understand audience with the objective of driving profitable customers. This is a business defined, or in other words, creating interactions, or in the religious context, developing engaging audience. The creation, distribution, relevance, and engagement, in other words, connectivity, are the major important aspects in this generation. We don't need to fear the future because we can shape them. When some of my friends, and especially the preacher friends, who are centered around the past, I used to wonder, why do they need to stick there while they have the possibility to shape the future? The strategy is about shaping the future. Sometimes I wonder why people are buried in the past because they are afraid about the present and the future. Think about it for a minute. The strategy is the art of possibility to do things in the future that are not possible today. It is about adoption and being flexible, or a flexible reaction to the real world and to the real situations. The content trap was also the strategy of the present. But the future is not the content itself, but content with connectivity. It is delivering the content with the audience that engage or demand or deliver in a connective environment. Deliver them to a place where they are, where they go, especially in the mobile platforms. This connectivity is that complete replaceable system that manage the content. Throughout the content life cycle and throughout the content life cycle, the content with connectivity will leverage your reach, or our reach to the audience, help you to achieve our mission, the targeted goal. This will help you and help each one of us to measure our communication with influence and result. Sometimes, most of the time, the outreach, the open air preaching is a monologue, one-way communication, and the stage of that is on. It is only creating noise. It reduces the noise. The content with the connectivity reduces the noise, and it creates value, great value. It should address the mission objectives and the content objectives. We are in a journey between suspect and prospect. The postmodern church is grown in its suspect and not in its prospect. In the content trap, we ask the questions: how many people viewed? In the content world, that's what we used to ask in the content trap. How many people downloaded? How many people listened? this piece of information or content is how effective. But in the future, we redefine connectivity and asking the question, how many people are engaged in the content that we produced? Every platform today is coming up with engaging icons or possibilities like shares, like button or dislike button, or cut and paste into their own social network. Remember, forms, PDF, and other large vocabularies are the enemies of spread and enemies in the content trap. We are called to be digital enough in the information age. There is a saying in the tech world: if your mom or your wife or your girlfriend won't share your content, it is not good enough. Your content is not good enough. The mission is not to be good at content, but creating a sustainable missional ministry model through engaging, through connectivity. The world is quickly changing, but all these changes are not always good, or we are not ready for many of the changes. Especially the church is not ready for the great change that is happening right now. The greatest danger in the time of turbulence is not the turbulence itself, but the act with the logic of yesterday. Yesterday's skills is not sufficient enough to resolve the problem that are being created by yesterday. Today we need new skills. Mobile already become your next brain, your extension of human capabilities. The search engines won't wait for you to ask the information. They will know you like a friend, aware of your interests and your need. Just like your friend sometimes need, whether you need a coffee or a tea, the search engine will identify and diagnose your need. The church will become a global community like never before and create huge opportunities. The digital divide will be removed, and the digital resources and its availability will be there for human, and it will be one of the human rights. Just like we had the human right for clothes, air to breathe, education, a shelter. These are some of the human rights, and our digital resources and its availability will be one of them. We have shifted from ownership of the data to the accessibility of data. The best product was the matter of all through the history, especially in the age that passed by, the technological world. The big good product was the matter, but now it depends on who tells the best story. And the story that connects, it doesn't matter whether you have the better story, but the story that connects, the story that shares. Many of my preacher friends say, I don't put the content out there because they are not perfect. Yes, I want to eventually produce some good content. I wanted to start a blog platform. But I wanted to say you a profound statement today. Connections are more important than content. You may be preaching the best sermons, or you are waiting to create the best content, but connections are more important than content. When I started blogging a few years back, as I was a beginner, I created a lot of content. My question to you today is, what is the next big thing that is after this information revolution or the information age? I personally call it as the wisdom age. That's what is going to happen. The question is, how will each one of us take this smooth transition from possibly from content to connectivity or connections in the wisdom age. The wisdom age is going to be very, very different. The mentors are going to play a major role in the wisdom age. Some argues that this information age will never end. Of course, they are right in a sense. Even though they are right, they will never end, but will never be the same. Creating the content, or the content is the king, is a slogan of the past. Boundaries are removed and privacies are lost. There's nothing called privacy in the cloud world. Once it goes to the cloud, we lose the privacy or the tangibility, or we cannot touch it. We don't know where it is. But we are moving to a different age I call the wisdom age, where the content will be the queen, the connectivity will be the king. People will be building on the content, and the connectivity plays a major role. The information changed and impacted everything, even the things we hear, the things we watch, the things we read. Even today, it is touching every area of our life. The cars we drive, the taxis we hire, the classified, the hotels, airlines, banking, fashion, newspapers, book, movies, TV, education, and music. The information age led the church at the bleeding edge of technology. The laboratories of change were distinct. Innovations and reinventions are happening everywhere at every moment in the history. Simultaneously, while we even talk at this moment, other part of the world, the conversation, people are into innovations and new development of innovative ideas. It is very crucial for the church, and it's led us to ask this question: what is the next new thing or the big thing that's going to happen? The prophets and the predictors of the future went wrong every time. When we look at the politicians, they are not promising at all. It is draining and leaving it empty, every soul. People are looking for politicians and its leaders, the church and its leaders, to find the answers. Some people are left or even looking at the new age movements and new age philosophies, new age spiritualities, to find the answers for their soul, for the comfort of their being. It is funny to hear that in the commonwealth of the nations, the only one thing that is not common is the wealth. I wanted to contextualize that to the conversation that we are engaging today. In the commonwealth of, in the way of in the context of content, in the age of content, or in the age of connectivity, the content seems to be the only thing that connects. In the age of content, connectivity is the only thing that matters. As we had a smooth transition from industrialized age to an information age or a computer age, we are heading towards a new age, a new development. And how many of us are ready to have that transition? And I call that age as the wisdom age. We started to, experience the impact of those changes even right now as we speak. We started to experience that not only in the business sector, not only in the society, but even right now in the church. It is affecting in politics, it is affecting our economy in every area of our life. We started to experience the big data flow, which started to create a paralysis of analysis. Many of our personal, religious, and corporate decisions are centered or relied or depends on the big data that is available. And they all go for further analysis and further analysis. The difficulty of processing the data and interpreting the data is ending up in a paralysis of analysis. Then it is leading to intellectual lazy culture and an intellectual mindset, a lazy mindset. The bigger the data which create numerical and support of hypothesis with a personal interest, you can find answers for anything that you find in the big data that is available. Depends on your hypothesis, you are capable enough to prove whatever you wanted to prove in this massive data world. In this context, the little knowledge that we have or you have is always dangerous. We cannot depend on the little data. We cannot come to a conclusion on anything. Always dangerous and don't make any sense in many contexts. Even though the big data is very informative, it needs to interpret the sensible in a sensible manner, in a manner that human beings can comprehend, human brain can understand. The democratization of information created an imbalance between the top and the bottom in the society. And most importantly, the difficulty to cope with this constant change and shift that is happening right now. That's a difficult part of every person, and I'm sure it's not only affecting me, but it is affecting you and everyone around you. In the wisdom age, the areas will have a massive development can be understood by different by watching the fields like nanotechnology, artificial intelligence. These are areas that are going to have massive growth. Biotechnology is another field. Energy technologies, light wave technologies, these are going to have massive change, massive impact as we are speaking about technology. And the list goes on and goes on. It can be summed up with one word or one concept called flowering of our consciousness. Flowering of our consciousness is the age of wisdom. The consciousness is growing bigger. The consciousness processing will overtake the information and the information processing. This is going to impact each one of us. This will take us from information processing to information to a consciousness, to a conscious processing. Information processing, big data to a conscious processing in the wisdom age. This will no way limit our personal relationship and personal spirituality or personal connections with God. Religion and spirituality also will play a major role in this age. And that is only possible, and it is going to be connected with health, holiness, wholeness, and wellness. These are the areas that religion and spirituality is going to interfere in this wisdom age. we will also see the synthesis between right brain and the left brain. And the feminine and masculine qualities will come together. Or we will see the blossom of every human potential, no matter what their gender or their religious or their social or their geographical backgrounds are. The spiritualities and the new incarnation will come with telepathy and pre-recognition of our need and our basic understanding. We can create a better future on this earth. And it is only possible through literally understanding or literally expanding our boundaries of our imagination. The limit is how much we set. As someone said, I am hopeful about the future because we have the capacity to redesign or design the future. We cannot go back and correct our mistakes, but we can correct the anticipated mistakes that we may come up in the future. The possibilities are limited to only our imagination. The wisdom can be summarized as the content connection, and I call it a wisdom age. That asks this question: preachers of the world and missionaries and the church leaders, the authorities, the authors of the text, are we creating a perfect content connection relationship? Are we bringing the bridge? Are we building the bridge, or are we building the walls? In this wisdom age, in this content trapped world, what is our calling? We are creating the perfect content. In other words, creating the content that connects. Our call of God means not only creators of content, but create content that connect. Connect with this world. Connect with another human beings. God made connections with this earth. The incarnation is God's connection with this world. Jesus' revelation is all about the heaven making connections with earth. It's not only the content, not only the logos, the word becomes flesh. Not only flesh, but it's the word. For the first connection or creation of content, it only cost God his breath. But for the connection, it cost him his blood. And it is the blood that will lead us from falsehood to light, from darkness to light. The religion has value where narcissistic, sleep deprived, dull, addicted, distracted, and stupid, depressed, isolated, and disconnected world, the gospel of Jesus Christ has power. The watchword will be together but alone. Fragmented, but we are become all again. It is helping you to find your higher purpose in life, higher purpose for which God called you. And small pleasure along with amplified abilities. Strengthen ties and create possibilities. Create connections possible. You will find your human intelligence converging with artificial intelligence. And God become more relevant at this context. Don't get trapped in the content. Create content that connects with you. I think based on that, we can redefine our mission. Redefine the mission of the church. We are entering into a wisdom age. Let me ask you, my friends, are you ready for this? If not, how are you going to find your space, find your place, create content at the same time, create content that connects. May God bless you. Thank you for listening. May God bless you. This has been Kenya. Please subscribe. I believe this will bless you as well as many others.